So in this scramble, I started with green front EO on normal. So the first thing I noticed was that there's 4 bad edges already on the back face, with the last 2 being here. B reduces to 2 bad edges, but that didn't give anything too great. So the next thing I saw was that on green front, these 2 edges are misoriented, the green red and green orange edges, which means on inverse, there will be bad edge in the green red and green orange spots, which is a nice case if you can get the other 2 bad edges to be in the U and D layers. So I noticed that this edge was already misoriented, so if I moved it out of the way before doing the B, then there would be a misoriented edge in the white-green spot on the inverse. And then the yellow-blue edge is here, so if I put that into this spot with R prime and then do a B, that leaves 4 bad edges. And when I switch to inverse, 3 of them will be here in these 3 spots. And then the last one will be in the yellow-blue spot, leaving a 2-move EO when I switch to inverse. So then I switched to inverse and there was a 2-move EO as I predicted. And then from here, there's a lot of ways to get to DR. There's actually 8 different ways to get to an 8-move DR with red front, which is already DR minus 44C. What you have to do is just take this pair and this pair and match it up with one of these 2 E-layer edges by doing R2U2 or L2U2, or you could do D2 after those moves too. So there's 8 different ways to get to DR, but the one I settled with was L2 D2 to put these together, and then you just have to match this up with the rest of the pieces, and then L prime to finish DR. And then from here, the first thing I noticed was U2 makes a 1-move square, but that left the corners with a 6-move case with plus AUFs, which isn't that good. So instead, I did U prime, B2, U prime, which made this pair and made this square, and set up some better corners. And from here, I started to solve the 2x2, the R2, F2. And then I noticed that the corners are almost solved. So I tried to just solve some blocks while solving the corners. So instead of doing an R2 to finish the 2x2, I did U, R2, which solved this block thing, and then D2, R2, U prime, R2, L2 solves everything but the E slice. And then from here, I tried to solve this with 2 slice insertions, but that, I believe, gave only a 22. So instead, I went back and undid all my DR moves. And then, instead of trying to just do slice insertions, I tried to go through and basically did trial and error with making certain U and D moves into wide moves. So I didn't make the first U prime a wide move, and then B2, and then this next U prime I made into a U wide prime, and then R2, F2. This U move I tried making wide, but it didn't solve the cube, so I went with U, R2, and then there's a D2 here, which I made it to a wide move again, and then R2, this next U prime is a wide move as well, and then R2, L2, and that solves the cube, or that solved the E slice without adding any moves to the skeleton, which means that was a 20-move solution.